we could just go roll into this section fresh off with a interview, a great interview with attorney Dara K. Washington, esteemed civil rights attorney. We're going to now go to Sister Joanna, if I'm pronouncing it right. She is the mother of the young baby girl who was killed in a police action by the Lafayette PD last year. She's going to fill us in on her details. Hopefully, we could get some answers from her, but we don't have all the answers now, and that's the reason she's advocating for this very beautiful young baby girl. Good morning.
And again,
we're on with Sister Khadijah.
You have our deepest sympathy. Oh, you have our deepest sympathy. I mean, I took pictures and everything, and whatever you need us to do, please, from the airwaves to being on TV, just let us know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I will. And I appreciate y'all for even giving me some time. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it up there in person, but
That's
here
fine.
I am. I'm always available, and I'm glad that you guys are also available just to hear what I have to say. So I could try to obtain some justice for my baby, because at the end of the day, bottom line, it doesn't matter the narrative that's being pushed. It doesn't matter what he say, she say. We can squash all that if the body cam footage gets released.
Right.
As a mother, after over a year of dealing with something, having no answers, clueless, I'm having to grieve, I'm having to work. This is not fair to me at all. It's not fair to her what happened. It's not fair to my son, who is autistic. My son already has a disability. So being that he was dealt this hand, unfortunately, we have to deal with another disability on top of that.
Well, you want to give us the listening audience who might not have known, if a lot of people,
Okay.
A little background on what happened that day, whatever you could talk to under any legal constrictions you might have, whatever you could talk about.
Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. That's fine. As we've said from the beginning, we have had nothing to hide. My silence, or what people think may have interpreted as silence, was just me trying to let my lawyer work, because we did have a lawyer. So I will start off by saying that. Um, I do have a GoFundMe also.
Yes.
That it entails that we are trying to still find legal representation, and we are in hopes of, getting the funds so a lawyer will be more inclined to take our case, what may be it. So basically, the night it happened, it was a situation, it was a domestic violence situation between my brother, I, and his girlfriend, Diamond Lee. So at the time, this had been like a constant thing going on between them. But it was something that, like I said, it was constant. So, it didn't really go nowhere. Like, it was just a bunch of stuff where they would get into it. She would call the cops. It was just like that. She called the cops all the time. So the night when the cops came, yes, my brother did put his hands on me. That is true. But I removed myself from the situation. We were all outside, and something transpired with a pair of shoes. I have a TikTok. You guys can go watch it. I know we're on crunch time, so I'm gonna just be brief with that. I do have a TikTok about it that entails more details. But long story short, it was a domestic violence call, a domestic violence incident that ended in multiple shots being fired. My baby girl being hit in the head and in the arm. My son being shot in the hand. My aunt being shot multiple times, and the suspect, my brother, being shot multiple times. So, bottom line is, a domestic violence call should have never ended in a massacre. I have video pinned to my Facebook, the top of my Facebook page, and it shows it's very graphic. And like I said in the comments of that, this is my reality. This is what I have to live with. I have to look at pictures of my little girl and see all that blood, see all those bullet holes, and I have to relive that. And I could never be in her shoes. I would be terrified. So imagine, as a baby, you don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden, like the coroner said, she was here and then she was gone. That's hurtful.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's hurtful. Bottom line is a domestic violence call between two people who constantly do this should not have ended in a bloodbath.
Mm, mm,
Yes, I saw some brief footage of the after scene, and it was blood on the wall, and
everywhere.
Yes, sir, everywhere. Yes, sir.
that was from your opinion. If you could talk about it legally, that was from police fire. Did they discharge their weapons multiple times, or you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what
Yes, sir.
I mean, and how did they justify this?
It's not justified. They're saying that my brother is charged with it. My brother is indicted for it. And from what I know, lawfully, if something, even if something is under investigation, if you have a
Mm-hmm,
part of an investigation, and correct me if I'm wrong,
mm-hmm,
if you have a part of an investigation that's still ongoing, but it's a separate, I guess, charge.
mm-hmm.
So if you're not investigating Casey's murder because you have indicted him for that, can we see the proof of where his bullet hit Casey, the ballistics report, the coroner's report? All I have is a death certificate for my
Mm-hmm.
baby.
Yeah, and the coroner ruled that the baby died of gunshot wounds caused
Multiple
by.
gunshot wounds to the head, and a gunshot wound to the arm. The arm.
Wow.
Homicide is on her death certificate. It says
Okay.
homicide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, law enforcement, did they meet with you and offer you any type of counseling or the DA office or anything?
No, sir. I've not been. No, sir. I've not been offered any type of counseling. The only type of counseling that was offered to me was from the Rescue You group.
Mm-hmm,
They actually donated some money to Casey's funeral,
mm-hmm,
Mm.
which we are grateful for. They offered me grief therapy, and basically that's it. I haven't been reached out to.
mm-hmm.
Kind of like we were forgotten about. Kind of like it was
Right.
like, okay, this happened, whatever. And
Mm-hmm,
that's not whatever to me. I carried this little girl for 9 months. I had a C-section. I
mm-hmm,
felt when they pulled my baby out of my body. Do y'all hear what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I felt when they pulled my baby out of my body.
Mm, mm,
Well,
And
even.
y'all gonna take that from me
Mm-hmm,
and not give me an answer or an explanation as to why? I never had contact with the officers.
mm-hmm.
I never had contact with anybody but my brother.
Right.
That happened. Yes, that did happen. But hey, it was gonna calm down.
Mm-hmm,
That's in my mind. It's gonna calm down.
right.
The cops are gonna come and they're gonna leave because that's what they always do.
Mm-hmm,
That
mm-hmm,
was my thought process. I would have never, never thought that was gonna happen because my
mm-hmm,
children were in a safe space.
mm-hmm. Let me ask
It
you.
was made unsafe. My kids were asleep. But if you look at the video, where they were asleep on the mattress had no blood on it. So I'm going to assume that there's no blood. There were no babies on there. My
Mm-hmm,
babies were up walking. There is no way that you could not have seen those kids or
mm-hmm.
nothing that y'all could have done in a different way
Well,
to get my kids out of that house, and y'all knew they were in there.
yes, what I'm saying. When police responded to whatever the call was, did they
Yes,
ask
sir.
how many individuals in the house and the ages or anything like that? I know they have to do quick thinking supposedly, but they did they?
Well, my sister was in direct contact with the three officers that were at the door.
Mm-hmm,
She said upon her arrival, when she arrived, she introduced herself. She said she was a resident of the home and she said she understood the situation, but there are kids in the house.
right. And
And to that which they responded back the F up.
really,
Really.
wow,
No, not really. That's
wow.
part of their language. That's how they do that. They're so
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful, and it doesn't matter.
As a side note, you got to remember
Right.
a lot of these cops and people should do the research. Go get trained by an outside agency of ex cops who were fired or demoted, went and started called street cops. If you ever talk to an officer and say, did you take the street cop course? And that's the attitude of these what they call the training of these street cops organizations around the country. So I'm just want to say that was a side note on that. But
Absolutely.
But let me say this: in the aftermath, were there any arrests besides the young man?
No, sir, there were no arrests. Mm-hmm. The cops actually received top cop awards.
Wow. What?
Well,
yes,
that's believable.
And this information is public record as well. I would like for you to just go and read what they said happened. What was their account? Because they said that they evacuated the kids from the house. How can you evacuate the kids from the house? My baby is dead. No mention of my dead baby. No mention of my son being shot. No mention of innocent civilian being shot. My aunt. No mention of that. But according to the National Police Association, they're heroes.
Yeah, that's what they did in the other case. I was talking to Attorney Washington about they put out false narratives all over the country and under police blogs all over the country. So there's a tendency to put it in the ecosystem of social media, their narrative all the time. Let me say this.
And the narrative is not true.
Right.
You know,
right.
The bottom line is, as a mother, an active mother, a mother who knew my baby, I know my baby top to bottom, head to foot. That's something I created, and that's someone that I love. I didn't choose to deal with this grief. I didn't choose to deal with this pain. But the choice that I have now is to stand up for my child, be the voice that my son doesn't have, the voice that she doesn't have anymore. And just, I'm not out to get anybody. I don't have a vendetta against anybody. But bottom line is, a baby is dead. There's no heroes in this.
Yes.
And everybody has taken a loss, whether it's a loss of integrity, whether it may be loss of a job, whether it may be loss of peace, because I lost a lot. But I know that my gain, the angel that I have, the blessings that I have been receiving, has been outstanding.
Now, I'm understanding you is that you did have an attorney, and you're looking for another attorney to help that attorney, or the attorney just quit?
Okay, so we had Ben Crump. Mr. Crump wound up dropping us on 2 weeks before the statute of limitations. Now, I knew that he wasn't getting any information because he was passing that along. But from what he said, it was the lack of information that he was receiving that he couldn't move forward with anything. So right now on my end, I also want people to understand that this is about the criminal side. Of course it is.
Right.
But my lawsuit and everything else is more towards the civil side. So we can obtain that footage, and we need the ballistics. We need the coroner's report. We need all those things so we can determine whether, well, what happened, whose bullet killed Casey, and who should be charged properly with her murder.
And given, and this would set off a red flag, and I know you, sister, you staying ahead of it. The recent case with the SWAT action in Iberia Parish would make everybody start taking a second look at the issue with your case. That
yes,
should.
Sir.
That's automatic. Should let them do that too also,
That's what I thought. That's really what I thought. I thought when it happened, I said, okay. And then, everything started leaking out. Everything started getting out. I'm like, this is the case that's going to break through Casey's case, because they'll need to investigate. They're going to investigate this one. You'll need to release stuff for my baby, too.
Right. And even in our discussion, and it's my opinion with Attorney Washington, that the way they let mainstream media milk it for the sympathy, and again, we salute that officer, but they milk that in a propaganda type way, and I usually read local mainstream media all the time.
A disrespectful type way. That is disgusting and distasteful towards a 19-month-old baby.
Yes.
That is disgusting.
Yes.
That is very disrespectful to my baby. Very disrespectful.
And again, what would you say in the public realm to the listening audience of KIEE 88.3 about what can we do to help generate interest, support, help with your case, those who want to help?
First, we got to hit the ground running on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is very important. Shares are important. My Facebook is public.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is able to share, available to share. You know, if you have a few words, hashtag justice for Casey with the number 4.
Mm-hmm.
My Facebook is Jo space Christina Christina. It'll be a picture of Casey in a little yellow and polka dot onesie.
Oh, yes,
Um,
indeed.
so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Also, as mentioned, we do have a GoFundMe. The GoFundMe
Mm-hmm.
link was pinned at the top of my profile, but
Mm-hmm.
I will tell people that the video that is pinned is very graphic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to go to my page, I just will say that. I'm sorry about that, but it is my reality. Like I said,
Yes.
it's what I have to live with, what my children had to endure.
Yeah.
And the GoFundMe, I will put it in my bio on my Facebook as well. And if there's anybody with any information, we're just really trying to obtain a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I did the footwork. I'm doing all the footwork right now. I got it.
And
Well, I'm trying to.
and you
I'm
found that
trying to do what I can.
and you and the baby's father, y'all filed that on the deadline, right?
Yes, sir. We sure did.
Wow. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Only God.
Yes. Yes.
Only God. Because we couldn't let it go. And a lot of people say, "Oh well, y'all want money." We ask patiently for the truth. We've been sitting, waiting, being good little boys and girls,
Right.
like y'all think we are, but we're women and men who are adults and who are parents. But we were following what we thought you guys wanted us to do, which was on a straight and narrow, do what the lawyer says, don't do anything extra. And for 12 months, we did that.
Yes, yes, and that's very understandable, and that's very commendable.
Yes, sir.
Very commendable.
That's
And
right.
to be at the scene, Sister Khadijah, to lose a baby girl and be at the scene, that I don't know, I can imagine that pain because
I know.
I didn't heard.
I actually got a neighbor to transport me to the hospital. There were no EMTs on the scene.
Man,
There
that
were
is
no
so
EMTs
hard.
on the scene.
How did the baby get to the hospital?
What's her
My
name?
little boy,
Yes.
his name is Kaisen.
And your little girl.
And
what's her name?
Casey
Okay.
Giselle Cyprian.
Oh, man.
Now she was removed from the scene, or she was transported.
Yes, sir. She was removed from the scene. My sister said someone all in green. I'm not sure what uniform that is. I don't want to put out anything false. But a man in a green uniform removed her. They got her in a vehicle and they went to the hospital in a vehicle that was not an EMT to render medical care. In addition to that, may I also add?
Yes.
May I also add that they waited to get the warrant. They knew that there was carnage in the house. There were victims in the house. I'm sure they knew. They waited to get a warrant to get everybody out of the house. So my thing is, if my aunt lay there bleeding, no medical attention. My baby lay there dead. If she had any life left in her, it was gone. Because by the time y'all got the warrant, that's when y'all decided to do everything. But it really took for my baby niece, Raina, to come to the door and cry for them to actually come in the house and start removing victims.
Wow, it's just unbelievable.
So Casey, if Casey had any chance, if she had a breath left in her, so be it, God. There was no help to get another one.
And again, we want to offer you the airways whenever you need it, and when you're here, we'll try to do something on the local AOC station.
Yeah.
Uh,
I rarely frequent Lafayette. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be honest with you.
Yes.
It's not a
yes,
place that I like to be
We could
I know.
remote
because
you
it brings
into. We
bad.
could bring you remotely into video, whatever.
Okay.
You know. we'll,
Yes,
we'll get you where you fit in.
He's like, nope, you're
Yeah,
gonna. I
yeah. I
I
don't
love
blame
y'all
you.
for
I
this.
do not blame you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like my baby was born in Houston. My baby is a Texas baby.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's not even where she was from. So that's not even.
yeah.
It's not. It doesn't matter the demographic.
Hmm.
It shouldn't have happened.
that's right.
Mm-mm.
That's right. And we we out there. If there's uh, a lawyer that still have any type of
Stop
guts
it! Don't you say that word.
to try and get
Backbone.
yeah, backbone.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
be the
yeah.
right
She was.
word.
Oh
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
yeah. That's the right.
I'm the mama. A backbone.
yes, that's right.
Please.
Yes,
Because listen, I'm only one person, and as tough as I think I am, and
Mhm.
as I'm only a human being,
mm-hmm.
and there's only so much that I can do. There's only so much that so many phone calls one person can make, so much time there is in the day. And listen, it's never about anything when it comes to Casey. But if we can employ that help and get the legal people, the people who know the laws, the people who are like versed in everything, you
License.
know,
Yeah.
we need that.
Yes,
Mhm.
we
We
need
need
them.
that because that'll really, get us taken seriously.
And when questioned on this very radio station on Mr. June Andrews show that comes on at one on every Friday on this same station, Mayor President Blanco Boulay, I asked her the question, and they called about police transparency in the sense that we need to, and I know she's not necessarily a part of it, but the choice of
Hmm.
police chief as her call, and that police chief has control certain in the way certain officers, are engaged with the community. And I know the
Hmm.
police union has a lot of power in Lafayette, and they seem to control every aspect of police work in around the country and in Lafayette. And so, just to make the mayor president understand that these situations, lack of transparency is one of the main problems at the top of the pyramid. Even with the situation with your baby girl, not being forthcoming and cooperating and trying to alleviate your stress and alleviate your
Right.
concern and even just the basic justice for your daughter.
Right. And the thing is, Mayor Boulette had reached out to me in February.
Right.
But like I told her, I'm under a lawyer. It's so much that I could say.
Hmm.
But just know that it's not what you're reading. It's not the
Hmm.
narrative that's being
Right.
pushed.
Right.
So I would just like, if you could reach out to me, then why just reach out to me now?
Hmm.
I would love to have a conversation with her. I would love to speak to her because as a
Hmm.
civilian, it's my law and it's my duty to be able to ask questions to leaders of
Yes.
our community,
Yes. Especially when it concerns life and death issues. Yes.
especially when it concerns life and death issues, when it concerns a child and when it concerns a disabled child. My child has autism. My son is autistic. And to be dealt that hand and his finger is paralyzed, like this is not okay. I still have questions that I will have to answer him. He still has surgeries that he has to have.
Mm.
I haven't received a day of therapy.
Wow. Yes.
And your telephone number, if
Well,
someone or you wanted to
yeah, I
go
could give it
through,
to her. I could give it.
you if someone if someone is
Oh, if
looking.
she want to make it public, yes.
Wait, no, well, if you have the number, then that's fine.
Okay.
But if somebody wanted to reach out, they would go through you, Brother Jay.
Well, not necessarily me, but if she, if she, what she wanted, you have a designated place to reach you.
Um, Not right now, but I can
Okay.
update it
Yeah.
on my Facebook. I'll make an
Yeah.
email,
Yeah.
strictly for stuff like that, and I'll
Yeah.
post that email
And send
publicly
it to
for
us
you
too, and
all.
we'll get it out on the airwaves. So I didn't want to publicize.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, ma'am. Uh,
I'll have to make a separate one so
Because
I could, it
in the,
could receive messages and stuff.
in the case of this, it's a sensitive, very sensitive, and you got situations where we know organizations and situation exact revenge on the people. You know.
Right.
Yes, yes, and I still, well, I'm still lost in a sense where how's that friendly fire when indeed you killed someone? You know,
That is.
Right.
you kill you are you're a murderer. You actually
Mhm.
kill someone and attempted to
Mhm.
kill others.
Not properly
Mhm.
being trained.
Yeah,
Not
not properly being
Well, and
trained.
then again, you
Exactly.
got to ask when officers go into the nice uh, gated community in Youngsville, are they nice over there, or when they're on the north
Probably
side of
so.
Lafayette, they're
Oh,
a little bit different. You
you
never
could
know.
you could bet your bottom dollar.
And you want to know something?
Yes,
This is very scary. I will be
hmm
the first to say that this is
yes,
a scary task.
yes,
This is a scary thing to deal with.
yes.
This is terrifying.
You,
But even knowing that,
mm,
I still have to have a backbone for my daughter and
yes.
my son.
Well,
You know, this is not easy.
the global perspective. Now that your story is out, much more prominent, the global perspective will have you back. I know. I've always, and Sister Khadijah and I have been speaking out about injustices since way before the Gina Six, and especially Sister Khadijah. And
Yes, sir.
when you got to be out front and straight up with those issues you're talking about, and be persistent, consistent.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
the fight is a
Absolutely.
global fight. It's an eternal fight to get justice in this country.
I mean, being
Yes, sir.
black for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well,
That's so hurtful, because it's like, okay, there's babies in the house, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
nobody as a parent, as a human, stops to think, what can a baby do to harm me? Let's get these kids out of here. Let's get these civilians out of here because there's five. Okay, so Casey, Kyson, Raina, my aunt, my brother, that's five people, right? Four of these people are innocent. So the four people that are innocent versus the one person that y'all saying is not innocent, their lives are worth his life too,
Mm,
or just no life matter?
that's right. No black life matter.
Right.
But yes, yes. Again, you said if anybody want to get in touch with you, all they have to do is go to your page.
mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Everything is public. I've no issue with
It,
posting my baby every day and posting my
it,
GoFundMe every day because
it,
it'll get out there, and Casey's story will get out there
yeah,
because I feel like it
yeah,
should have been more media coverage,
yes,
and I
it's
feel like CNN should have been called us. I feel
right.
like that, but hey, one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time. I'm still grieving.
Well, hopefully we have you hooked up on Carl Nelson's show out there in Washington D.C. The TV One people, Radio One.
Radio One.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
I appreciate them always supporting and giving us show ideas. So hopefully we hook you up on that.
that's awesome. That will be great. The more, the better.
Yes,
The more, the
and
better.
there's a
For justice for Casey.
reach out to Brother Rashad Ritchie, also the Young Turks Network and WAOK out there in Atlanta. Shout out to him too. Great
Yes.
people, great people.
Yes. Yes. Again, our
Yes.
deepest sympathy to you and the family and to the entire world, because we lost a jewel of a child. We lost our
Yes.
jewel. Mm, mm,
Yes.
mm. Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, Sister Joanna. Thank you
Thank
so much.
Thank y'all so much. Like I said, for a platform to speaking about my baby, I just want justice for Casey. Justice for Casey. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, my sister. All right.
Yeah, very deep, Sister Khadijah. This is what we want to be, how we want to be on this platform to help inform the community and help bring about justice. Probably going to get a little angry text I get every now and then from some upholder of injustice, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
You're a
it
person.
definitely is okay. Sometimes we get angry things from people that we know real good and relatives and stuff like that, and it don't deter us worth a lick. All right, so we are signing out. You're gonna listen to Brother Herbert with the hot reggae. You have something else?
Yes, look